Yo, dude,
What's up, man?
aren't you supposed to test out two new bikes today? I hope they're big and exciting ones.
Yeah, PD told me there's two motorcycles waiting for us, but I don't know which ones they are. Let's go find out.
Let's go find out. What? 125cc? Raider?
Xtreme?
Come on, man, PD. We're going to be in the city all day with these bikes, dude.
Well, I have an idea then. Let's make something out of it at least. Let's start with some good breakfast.
Good idea. Dude, these do not look like regular 125cc commuter motorcycles, right? They stand out and look so different in the crowd.
I totally agree with you, man. Like, you never saw motorcycles, 125cc commuters with these kind of designs. Modern street fighter styling, yeah.
Yes, particularly the Xtreme with the aggressive and alien-like design. It looks so sporty.
I surely like how it looks, man.
And even the Raider, it has something interesting going on with it, right? It's sporty and commuter at the same time. And that is also visible in the performance in the city. They have this pep and excitement unlike any other 125cc commuter motorcycles. But there is one thing though. I feel like the Raider is slower. It's not as quick. It doesn't feel as quick as the Xtreme. But in our test, the thing is a little different. The Raider is the quicker motorcycle.
I feel that has a lot to do with the fact that the Xtreme out here, it has a very light front end which you can evidently feel while riding around. So when you get on the throttle, it does feel like the quicker motorcycle.
While the Raider is the quicker motorcycle in the city, the Xtreme is the more fuel efficient motorcycle and by a high margin.
Despite being quicker though, the Raider, it feels smoother at city speeds. It feels more refined. No?
It does feel slightly more refined, and one more thing that I have to say is the gearbox on the Xtreme is not the most slickest gearbox you can find out there.
Now, one thing I've noticed in the city is that the ride quality on both these bikes is really comfortable, right? Quite plush.
Yeah, so I've been riding around both as well, and I've really enjoyed them in the city because they are able to take on good roads, bad roads, gravel, whatever you find in the middle, and it's really good for my weight. The only thing I feel is that the Raider is a slightly larger motorcycle, so taller riders do look better on it.
True. And considering that somebody is large, I feel for them the Xtreme will become a little soft in terms of the suspension tuning, right? For people over 70 kg, the sportiness reduces a tad bit. In terms of that, the Raider feels a bit more wholesome and more comfortable and plush.
In terms of braking performance, the Xtreme is a good motorcycle. You have good feedback from the lever. The only thing is that when you get on the brakes really hard in case of an emergency and you tend to also get on the rear brake, it does lock up really easily and you can tend to slide.
Now the Raider does not have single channel ABS like the Xtreme, but it has combi braking system. And the interesting thing about it is that the front brake lever gives better feedback when you apply the rear brake first. That is how the combi braking system works, and that is very interesting and it is very effective as well. And in terms of handling, both of these bikes I feel are pretty agile and maneuverable, and it's pretty easy to take quick overtakes on both of them and get around the city.
So what I think is, considering that they're so much fun, I don't think we should just be riding them in the city. Why don't we take them to the Ghats and find out which the better corner cover is?
That's a great idea.
Let's do it.
Riding in the city was equally fun on both motorcycles, but out on the highway was a slightly different case, right? The Raider feels a little less refined at higher speeds, at higher revs, but it's definitely more stable. But it is more difficult to maintain and catch higher speeds. The Xtreme, on the other hand, it is so much more easier as compared to the Raider, of course, that you can reach higher speeds and maintain it very easily, but it is not as stable.
Yep, and then if you talk about the ergonomics, both of these motorcycles, they're equally comfortable if you compare them. The foot pegs, they're in a slightly rear side position, so you have that slightly sportier angle. But then if you talk about the handlebars of both the motorcycles, The Xtreme keeps you extremely upright, whereas the Raider, you're slightly bent forward towards the bars. So this is the slightly sportier in terms of riding position. And then if I talk about the comfort of both the seats, they're equally comfortable in the city and on the highway as well.
So we have covered the Twisties and taken the corners on these two sporty commuter motorcycles, but they're slightly different, aren't they?
Yeah, so in terms of cornering, the Raider now here, it tips into corners really well and you have this really good feeling, and one of the main important things about this motorcycle in corners is the way that you have more mid-range to pull you out of corners. So in terms of that, really good handler. This a good handler as well, but as we said earlier, this has a slightly lighter front end, so you've got to get used to that feeling of this light front end when you're tipping into corners. But once you get used to it, it is a very confidence inspiring motorcycle. And as we were talking about it earlier, this has a slightly softer setup. So that being said, when you come to our Indian roads and you have these corners with slight undulations, it takes them on really well without any problems.
The last talking point about both these 125cc commuter motorcycles has to be the features. Now the Raider comes loaded with a TFT console, navigation, voice assist, ride modes and so much more. The Xtreme on the other hand, it gets safety features, so single channel ABS and hazard lights. But in the overall, I feel like the Raider is a more wholesome and more value for money product. But it's not like the Xtreme is any less, right? It has a lot of things going on for it as well, with the safety features, the aggressive and sporty design, and the more affordable price tag, right? For people on a tighter budget, this will be a great pick.
So to sum it up, we are now in a day and age where we get sporty 125cc commuter motorcycles. So these are motorcycles that you can have fun on, especially on a budget. Which one of these motorcycles would you pick? Let us know in the comment section below. Meanwhile, also like, share and subscribe to the ZigWheels channel for more videos like this.